Draw With Me is a short film about a transgender youth and their journey of coming out to their family and also engaging in their art to help them cope with the feelings they were having during this time. The film is important and timely in its story and message and can have a huge impact on those of us who watch and experience what Brendan and their family is going through in this time of acceptance and admission. It's a story that's very close to my heart because it was a family affair. It's about accepting change and challenges with love and knowing that when we do, everything is possible. Also because Brendan is my nibbling. Enjoy.
My name's Brendan. I use they, them, their pronouns. I was the first one in our friend group to come out as trans. I definitely was not the last one. It was in 8th grade when I finally felt comfortable with saying that I'm trans.
You're talking about your identity as a person. Sexual preference has to do with who you go to bed with, and your identity is who you go to bed as.
The hardest part is always telling people. That is always the hardest.
It's tough enough trying to fit in as a kid, but trying to fit in and being misgendered makes it just a whole nother degree of difficult.
The darkest point was definitely when I wasn't out to any of my teachers or my parents. I was worried that when I came out, that would be like the last straw, so to speak.
They had heard all these horrible stories about kids being kicked out of their house and the parents disowning them.
I remember Leslie was going through the laundry and found Brendan's binder.
And at that point, I was just tired of lying to them, so I just told them the truth. Like, I told them, it's a binder, it makes your chest look flat.
I said, well, don't you want to be a girl? And they kind of looked at me and said, I'm not a girl, Mom.
That was probably one of the hardest things that I've done.
So when my child told me when I look in the mirror, I don't feel comfortable in the body that I'm in, I mean, a lot of people can't understand that.
I'd spend a lot of nights crying because I was so terrified of like what my life would be like. Art gave me an outlet for the things that I couldn't say out loud, but things that I needed to get out of my system.
It does cause a strain between the parents, cause a strain between me and Brendan. I mean, we had some knockdown dragouts.
I was at the lowest points in my mental health, where I start self-medicating.
I think the real turning point for us was when Brendan attempted suicide. That night, I remember being in my room and hearing something happening upstairs because their room is right above mine. I went upstairs and they said, oh, I feel sick. And they were trying to throw up. And I didn't know what was going on until the next day when we get a call from the counselor at school and they said, is Brendan okay?
I had like posted something online about how I didn't want to wake up in the morning.
Can't fade away, my tears.
They had taken all these painkillers like aspirin, Aleve, Advil. When it finally hit me, like, oh my God, my kid just tried to kill himself. It was extremely, like...
It hurt me that they were having to go through this without us knowing about it and with us being there to support them with what they were going through.
When you finally get to the acceptance part, then you realize it's not about you. You know, this is about my child.
We do know that we have love for each other. Whatever happens is not going to change how we feel about them.
I'm just hit with how lucky I am in terms of like the family and friends. Titi Jen made that post where she used the right pronouns. It felt really nice to have a family member like in a very public way show their support. Makes me appreciate things that other people will do for me and for anyone else who's struggling.
What is the easiest thing you could tell somebody who's never had someone trans in their life or experienced someone?
The best thing I could say is just believe them. I shouldn't have to be scared to like tell people who I am. If they don't like me because I'm trans, then it's their loss. I'm not gonna change myself just because this one person doesn't like it.
If you knock me down